Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, Daily Motion, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for Thursday, February 19th, 2015, around 8:10 p.m. in Billerica, Massachusetts. It's about 15 degrees and the temperature is falling, going to probably be around zero tonight, and a windshield advisory, so bundle up. It's going to be cold again tomorrow, and Saturday night, Sunday, we're going to get a potpourri of precipitation. Snow, sleet, freezing rain, ice, and then rain. It's going to be a slop fest, and most of the rain is going to be absorbed into the snow, so there won't be significant melting. And some news to report. There's been rumors that the Anaheim Ducks are interested in Boston Bruins captain defenseman Zdeno Chara, but Chara has a no-trade clause. He ain't going anywhere, even though Chara's basically over the hill and done as a player. He's not going to leave the Bruins. And the Arizona Diamondbacks have announced they've re-signed with Fox Sports Arizona for 20 more years, and the deal is going to be total $1 billion. That's a lot of money. And that's about it on the night. That, my third and final video blog subject tonight is the personality profile. Tonight's personality profile is Baseball Hall of Famer Frank Robinson. Frank Robinson was an outfield, but he played some first base, and he DH towards the end of his career. Frank was one of the most famous baseball players in history. He hit well over 500 home runs, the only man ever to win a most valuable player in the National League and the American League. Frank was born in Beaumont, Texas, but he grew up in Oakland, California. In high school, he played baseball and basketball. His basketball teammate in high school was Bill Russell, legendary Celtics center and Pro Basketball Hall of Famer. But Frank's best sport was baseball. He was so good at it. The Cincinnati Reds signed Frank to a contract, and he spent a few years in the minor leagues. In 1956, Frank made his Major League Baseball debut, and he had an awesome rookie season. He hit 38 home runs, which was then a rookie record, and he won the 1956 Most Valuable Player. Rookie of the Year. He won the Rookie of the Year in 1956 in the National League. Frank played 10 seasons with the Reds. He was an all-around great player. He had a lot of home runs. He hit for average, drove in a lot of RBIs. 1961, he won the National League Most Valuable Player, and he played in the World Series that year. The Reds faced off against the New York Yankees, and the Yankees won. And Frank was doing good, but by 1965, the Reds were awful, and Frank wanted to be traded to a winning team, so the Cincinnati Reds honored his request and traded Frank to the Baltimore Orioles, and this was a lopsided deal because the next year Frank Robinson won the Triple Crown. That means leading the league in average, home runs, and RBIs, and he also won the 1966 American League Most Valuable Player, the only player in Major League Baseball history to win that award for the American League and National League. And Frank continued to do good, hitting a lot more home runs, clutch play and stuff like that. He won a couple of World Series, 1966 and 1970 for the Orioles, and he was great. Towards the end of his career, played for the Dodgers, the Angels, and the Indians. And in 1975, Frank was the first African-American manager in Major League Baseball history. He was still a player manager, but he was phasing himself out as a player. He retired after the 1976 season, Frank did, but he still continued to manage the Indians for a while. Frank was a 14-time All-Star. He one time won the Gold Glove. He was the 1966 World Series MVP. 17 times he hit 20 or more home runs. 6 times he had 100 or driven in 100 and more RBIs. 9 times he batted 300, and he was only a handful of players to have at least 200 home runs in each league, the American League and National League. After Frank's playing career was over, Frank managed the Indians, Giants, Orioles, Expos, and Nationals. Frank's career stats are 294, 586 home runs, 1,812 RBIs, 2,943 hits, which was awesome stats. His number 20 was retired by the Orioles and the Reds. And Frank was a first ballot Hall of Fame in 1982, the same year that Hank Aaron went into the Hall of Fame. That was an awesome class. And Frank Robinson, was also on the 1989 Manager of the Year, and he had a career managing record of 1,065 wins and 1,179 losses. Frank never managed a postseason game as a manager because some of the teams he had were a mediocre at best, except for the Orioles, which in 1989 they had a kind of a miracle season. They were last place in 1988. Frank took over in the about first few games, and they were 2 games away from winning the American League East, so they were almost went to worst to first for that. And Frank also currently works for Major League Baseball as an executive vice president of baseball development. For many years, Frank worked as Major League Baseball's director of discipline, and he did a good job in that. And for 4 years, he was actually manager of the Expos/Nationals, because the Expos/Nationals were owned by Major League Baseball for that time, and just probably to save money, they asked probably Frank to manage them, and they kind of were mediocre at best and stuff like that. And Frank's career was awesome, in my opinion. He was a very great ball player, probably one of the best players of his generation from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, which was a pretty good generation for ball players. And that's about it on him. Well, this is another day. I hope you'll be enjoying these video blogs, Facebook friends, and YouTube followers. I love producing them. Tomorrow's video blogs will be about the top 10 greatest finishing moves of all time in professional wrestling history. Then tomorrow will be a video blog of the Sports Hub 98.5, WBZ FM, tell you about a little bit of history about that. And the third and final video blog of the night will be about Baseball Hall of Fame of Jim Rice. And coming soon to these video blogs, the top 10 greatest submission moves in professional wrestling history, the top 10 Seattle Mariners players and pitchers of all time, and then I'd be through with the top 10 players of each Major League Baseball team. And the top 10 list will be going on a little bit of a hiatus in March because of other stuff, and it's good to because I've been doing it for about the top 10 list for about 7-8 months kind of straight, with a few days off, but that's going to go on hiatus. The personality profile won't, but the top 10 list will be going on hiatus in March. And March is going to be a March Madness on these video blogs. Lots of topics. The main topic will be, I'm going to be revealing a lot of WWE WrestleManias and talk about March Madness, the NCAA basketball tournament, and also I'm going to be talking about the 2015 Major League Baseball previews and predictions, and maybe, just maybe, Julie Broughton and Heidi Pratt's video blogs are coming. And then it'd be awesome. And there's possibilities, maybe you'll be a video guest with me. Who knows? You never know. It would be awesome. And have a good night. See you tomorrow. Facebook, YouTube, Daily Motion, and Twitter. Good night, everybody.